This is a review of some of the principles and concepts and functions we talked about. First, let's look at our sample spreadsheet. There are three variables we're going to talk about. We got this variable 1, which is just a sequence of numbers from 1 to 100. We have a sequence of random numbers that are between 1 and 100. And we have something called bins that are 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so forth. All right, when you work with Excel, you use a lot of functions. And so anytime you're going to write a formula that includes a function, or even if you're just going 2 plus 2, you always start with the equal sign. And then in this case, well, first of all, you can find all your functions up here. If you just click on it, it will give you a whole series of different types of functions. I've got it set for going to statistical, and the first thing we want to do is the minimum value. And so if we scroll down here, we see min. You click on that, and then you can hit the tab key, or well, no, you just say OK. And so it's got minimum value from, it's defaulting for some reason, A2 to E2. We're going to come over here, we're going to click on variable 1, and we're going to go down to the bottom using Control-Shift down arrow. We're going to close our parenthesis, and we're going to say OK. Now you can see that it sees the data array here. It's got what we just copied, and then down here it gives the answer. You can say OK. It's going to print it in here. So we have the min. We do a similar thing with equals, and I just happen to know that max is the maximum formula, so I'm going to type MAX. Now, if at this point you press the tab key, it's going to find that function, or it's going to give you a list of functions like that. Let's actually go back and let's just type in M in the tab. Oops. Type in M. See, it gives me a whole list of all the functions beginning with M. I'm going to pick max. And now notice max is not up here, just M. Then I'm going to hit the tab key, and it puts in the parenthesis. And now it's asking for a range. What's number 1, number 2? Well, instead of typing 1, 2, 3 all the way down, I'm just going to put in this range. I type the first number and Control-Shift down arrow, copies all those guys, and then to end it, see, it has put in A2 to A101. I'm going to come to the end. I'm going to close the parenthesis, and there I have the max number. Oh, it's up here. So my minimum in this first column is 1, and the maximum is 100, which is true. There's 100. There's the min. Now, it's pretty easy in this one because I just have a sequence of numbers from 1 to 100, but what if we wanted to know equals min, and then our random numbers, and there's our min. So the min in this case, there isn't a 1, this just starts at 2. Now let's go max, oops, need equals max, equals max, tab, range, start a click there, Control-Shift down arrow, close the parentheses, hit enter, move back up to see what it is. So I have numbers from 1 to 99 in this. Notice that if I come over here, and or well, even if I'm right here, I hit F9, I have not fixed my numbers. So it's going to give me another random number sequence. I can do that as often as I want to. In Excel, the function for mean, if we look in here, we go down and we look for mean. There's a median, but there's no mean. The mean in Excel is average. And so if we take the average, this guy, Control Shift down arrow, close parenthesis. Oh, I added another parenthesis. Well, yes. Okay. Median, we saw just a minute ago, there was a median function, tab, same range. Control Shift down arrow, close the parenthesis, hit enter. There's the median, happens to be the same as the average in this case. We can do equals standard deviation. Now, we could stop here, even though, oh yeah, it is down there. This is a legacy. It's okay, perfectly okay to use this. In fact, that's the one I always do. It saves you from typing .s. So there's a standard deviation .s, a standard deviation .p. The S is for sample, the P is for population. The difference is in the denominator, where it's n-1 or just n. If you know all the values, and you can do the P, and it divides by n. But if you're taking a sample, then you want to use the sample one, and that divides the sum of squares by n-1. So .s. Okay. I must have forgotten my equal sign. No. Oh, I didn't put in any values there. So let's go over here. Come down. Alright. There's our standard deviation. Oh, actually, I'm showing you that that's without the S. This one. S. Same, those two are exactly the same. Equals SDEB.P tab. Come back up here, click, Control Shift down arrow, close parenthesis, hit enter. Notice a little smaller because the denominator is a tad bigger. Adds another observation. Now this one's kind of fun. It's a percentile, and it is equals P, and we see we have percentile.exe, we have percentile, oh, that's exclusive, and this is inclusive. Exclusive means it goes from I'm not sure what the difference is there. Oh, so percentile. Yes, right. The percentile exclusive is the percentile from 0 to 1. Percentile being in a fraction. But exclusive means it doesn't include 0 and 1. And this one, inclusive, does. So let's do percentile exclusive. I'm going to hit tab. And the array is over here. Close parenthesis, hit enter. Oh, right. need to tell it. Notice down here it gives you and you can click on that for help. Here's the array and it asks for k. We want to do the 15th percentile, so we're going to go 0.15. And we get 15.15. So if we were to do percentile inclusive, which adds the 0, you get 15.85. So the 50th percentile is percentile.inc tab. Whoops. I forgot the equal sign. Equals percentile. Once I don't put in the tab, it's not going to remember it. So incremental, Control Shift down arrow, close parenthesis, and comma 0.5. I want the 50th percentile, the one in the in the middle. What? Oops, maybe I should spell it correctly. Alright, what's going on here? Equals percentile. Let's do exclusive. Tab. Range here. Close the parenthesis. Nope, don't close the parenthesis yet. Put in a comma. And the K is the percentile. We want the 50th. Do that. Enter. I don't know what it didn't like before, but there it is. 50.5. And then the 85th is equals percentile dot ex. Let's do inc. I know it's different, but I want to just show you that it works, hopefully. Come up here, Control Shift down arrow, close parenthesis. No, Johnny, don't close the parenthesis. Sorry. Close the parenthesis. I didn't want to. Comma 0.85. Close parenthesis. I don't know why inclusive isn't working. If I just change exclusive, do I get it? Nope. Equals percentile. Click. Tab. Range. Control Shift down arrow. Now, instead of hitting close parenthesis down here, I hit a comma and then put 0.85. Now I close the parenthesis. There we go. All right. Now, I want to do this for variable 2 too, but I'm lazy. I'm just going to copy these. And notice all these have A2 to A101. When I copy, and also notice to copy all of this. So I could do it like this. I could go Control C, A2 to A101, Control V. Now, notice that it changed from A2 to B2. That's relative referencing. So because I moved over 1, the data array moved over 1. If I had tried to do that with bins, find the average bins and copied from there, and this was bins, it wouldn't work. It would do this one. So anyway, but an even faster way of doing that is you've got your thing. Remember, you can move this over here. Notice that it stays the same. These are still A2. When you move something, it doesn't do any referencing. But when you copy it, it does. Now, I could Control C and Control V, or I could come down here with this little black cross and just go like that and drag it over it. So this is B2, this is B1. All right. We're going to go over one more thing, and then I'm out of time for this video. And that is the frequency function. So this variable, let's get rid of all. Is equal frequency tab. Now it says data array and bins array. So I want to have my data array here, comma, and my bins, I want to do the frequencies within this series of bins. I2 to I11. Oops, 12. Close parenthesis, hit enter, and it gives me this. Now, this function has changed with the last release, and I am concerned that if hitting enter doesn't help you, then what you will do is you will type in that function just like that,